Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I'm excited to be bringing you my team building video for week 8 of season 3 of the Pokemon Premier League. Yes indeed. Now, today it is pretty much crunch time for Parasect Germain. We are 2-5 right now, which is not good. Essentially what that means is if we lose one more game, we finish the season with a negative win-loss ratio, which is unacceptable. That's just not good enough. So, basically, it comes down to the fact that we have to win every single game we've got left. And after last week's absolute train wreck of a game against Jack, we got absolutely tonked. We didn't stand a chance. We've got to really get our A game back, and it's going to be a bit of a bottom table scrap because this week we face off against none other than Liam, aka Unlawful Exile, and his team West Chan United. Gonna be a big one, you know. I'm sitting at 2-5. Liam, I believe at this point, is 1-6. I think that's his record at the moment. So neither of us are doing particularly well. Both of us need this win quite desperately. But I think that we can pull this one out of the bag. I have to have faith. Now, not going to be easy. Liam's team is super duper spooky, right? Not a fan of what's going on here. Not a fan at all of what is going on here. So, the team that Liam can pick from should be appearing on your screen sort of right about now. He has got Mew, Mega-Venusaur, Mamoswine, Staraptor, Vaporeon, Sork, Galvantula, Spiritomb, and Mawile. There is some nasty stuff on that team. He's got a lot of power, he's got a lot of versatility. He picked up Mew round 1, the second pick of the entire draft, and people kind of raised eyebrows, but this is of course Liam's first draft, his first draft league I should say, so to take Mew, you know, it looks to be sort of one of the more versatile ones to use. Of course it is the most, so I think that was a pretty good pick for him, and it means that you've got to prepare for a Mew, which is damn near impossible. He has, like, potent wall breakers. Mamoswine, Staraptor, Sork. No, we don't like that. We don't like that at all. That is super spooky. I'm not excited about going up against any of those three at all. To top it off, he has sticky web options. I'll come on to what I think of that in a minute. Mawile, I like to pick up Mawile. Very cool. Mawile regularly doesn't get enough love, I don't think. Excuse me. But it can do some things, you know. So, that is his squad. That is the squad that he can pick from. It is scary, but I have put together a team that I am fairly happy with. So, I'm going to go over that team right about now. And the first thing that I've decided to bring is going to be Wheezing, Pork and Beans, making a return to the team. We've got a sort of mostly physically defensive set here, but it's quite interesting. We've got Black Sludge, of course, Levitate. We've got Taunt, Infestation, Will-O-Wisp, and Sludge Bomb. We've got 252 HP, 148 defense, and 108 speed with a timid nature. I know, Sonic Wheezing is here. There is a reason for that. Those EVs and that nature allow me to tap out at 103 speed. That will allow me to outpace a non-invested Mega-Venusaur, which Wheezing could be very nice for. You know, I can bring in Wheezing, I can go for a taunt, I can stop him setting up Leech Seeds, I can stop him trying to put me to sleep, I can then trap him, or, you know, Will-O-Wisp him, or do whatever I need, and just stop him healing up, and I can just wear him down, because it is unlikely that Venusaur is going to have too much to hit Wheezing. You know, dual stabs are resisted. I would imagine if he's bringing a hidden power, it's gonna be fire from the Sizzle. And that leaves him with one more move. You know, you're looking at Sleep Powder, you're looking at Leech Seed, something that can be taunted. So Wheezing should be able to 1v1 that Mega Venusaur. And you know, at the end of the day, it's also a Wheezing, so it can take, it's not fully invested, it can take a hit from Staraptor from full, and try and get off a burn, to try and neuter that as much as possible. I've got a really bad cough, excuse me. There we go. So yeah, that is Wheezing, you know, trap things in where I can, taunt the slower stuff, mainly that Mega Venusaur, but of course, also, interestingly, I can probably outspeed and taunt that Vaporeon, if he's going to bring that. Potentially even the Mawile, if it's not invested, I can stop that thing from maybe getting up the rocks. So Wheezing could be very useful here. I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what it can do against Name's team. So yeah, that is Wheezing, first member down. Second member, let's get some offense up in here. We have got Tornadus. Tornadus has been on the naughty step a little bit of late for missing Hurricanes, which we can't do at this level, it's not good enough. But with that being said, we are back with Tornadus. Chicago is here with the Life Orb, Define as the ability. Moves of choice for this game, we've got Hurricane, Grass Knot, Knockoff and Heat Wave. 4 EVs invested into each of HP attack and special defense. We've got max special attack, 244 speed with a hasty nature. Really bad cough. So, what are we working with here? 244 speed, I can outspeed the Galvantula. I believe actually that does make me the fastest thing unboosted on the field, which is really nice. Yeah, pretty much bread and butter set. Hurricane, like, please hit. It would be super good if you could hit the Hurricanes. Grass Knot, that's there for the likes of Mamoswine. I'm aware it's not going to hit the Vaporeon as hard because Vaporeon is light, but it's mainly there for the Mamoswine. Knockoff, you know, it'll hit the Mew, I guess, and then I can get a big hit off with Hurricane maybe. Good for knocking off any item, really. If I can knock off a Scarf on a Switch, that'd be grand. Heat Wave, you know, it hits the Mawile harder than anything else. It'll hit the Galvantula super effectively if I don't particularly want to risk Hurricane 70% accuracy or 12% accuracy or whatever it is. Yeah, and you know, at the very least, it'll hit his thick fat users. It'll do a decent amount to Mamoswine. It won't do much to Mega Venusaur, but it's an option. So yeah, it's all very self-explanatory stuff with Tornadus. Just hit hard. Nice sort of mix set there. Don't even invest too much in attack because, of course, I'm just there for knock-off items. My main thing is going to be Hurricaning as much as I possibly can. Looking at his team, his only resistance to Hurricane, that's going to be the Mawile, which I can hopefully bop with a Heat Wave. So yeah, Tornadus could be putting in a lot of work this game if he hits his moves. So, Tornadus down, third member of the team, that's going to be Latias, Redmond. Another mon who really needs to get his shit together. I've been trying to use defensive sets of this, it's not working. He got his first KO last game. Yay. That was a Scarfed set, so we're bringing max special attack, max speed, timid. We've actually got an Assault Vest Latias today, with Psyshock, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt and Energy Ball. We are going for maximum coverage right here. You know, Psyshock, that's obviously hitting the Mega Venusaur. It's hitting the Sork as well. Shadow Ball, nice for the Mew. Will also hit, let's see, the Spiritomb for neutral, because Spiritomb could be a bit of an issue. Thunderbolt, useful to hit the Staraptor. The Vaporeon is another one gets hit by that. Energy Ball, similar kind of thing. Hits the Mamoswine, also hits the Vaporeon. So we've got some very nice coverage going on with Latias. Max speed, it is outspeeding once again everything unboosted. You know, Liam's fastest mons are at base 100, and that's going to be the Mew and the Staraptor. So Latias is outspeeding both of them. I could probably optimize the EVs, and maybe I'll do that. But oh no, hang on, what we're talking about? Galvantula. That's why I haven't optimized the speed EVs. I thought it was a bit weird not to do that. But yeah, Galvantula. It's also another reason I got the Assault Vest. You know, Latias can be taking hits from a special Mew. It can take hits all day, every day from Mega Venusaur. Vaporeon doesn't threaten it very much at all. Galvantula, I'll be able to take a hit with the Assault Vest. Similar kind of thing for Spiritomb. And you know, if I've got damage onto the Galvantula, I can be doing big damage back to it. So yeah, Latias is kind of here to sort of punch as many medium-sized holes as possible. The problem is, it doesn't have a boosting nature on special attack, it doesn't have a boosting item, so it's not going to be hitting as hard as one might expect or like, but it's still going to be doing a decent amount of damage to everything. And that can clear the way for something else to come in later. So, who do we have next on the team? Well, with Latias all said and done, we're going to move on to the fourth member, and that is going to be another sort of underachiever in the form of Mega-Scizor. We've got Shears here. And what we've got is another defensive mon. We have got, obviously this is right, obviously Technician, 236 HP, 140 defense with that impish nature, 132 in speed, we've got Bullet Punch, U-Turn, Aerial Ace, and Roost. Those speed EVs, they will allow me to outspeed, once again, non-invested Mega Venusaur when I am still base form, when I'm not Mega'd. Because Scizor could be a useful switch into Mega Venusaur, and obviously, you know, Mega-Scizor can outspeed Mega Venusaur fairly handily with not too much investment. Regular Scizor needs a bit more, but regular Scizor I can try and bring in on the Mega Venusaur, and I'm not making the same mistake as I made against Shardy in Season 1 with my Mega Gallades against his Nidoking, which he has never let me forget, and never will. In that game, I forgot that Megas do not get their speed boost upon Mega Evolving. It was a rookie mistake, but I'm never making it again. So, Scizor outspeeds Mega Venusaur before it Megas. Bullet Punch, U-Turn, very standard stuff. Aerial Ace, it's there to hit the Mega Venusaur and not much else, but I don't need too much else. Scizor is here to try and tank hits, get some initiative, pick off things with Bullet Punch, and roost up when I can. It'll also take a couple of hits, ideally, without rolls, from Scarfed Staraptor, which is something that I and many others do not have a lot for. So yeah, that's kind of what Scizor can be there for. The beauty of Staraptor is it's its own worst enemy. Much like Emble, it causes itself no end of recoil damage. So you know, if I can bring in Scizor, take a couple of Brave Birds, or even just take one and pick it off with a Bullet Punch, we'll be looking in a good position. So yeah, that is going to be Mega-Scizor. Nice defensive mon there. So, next up, the fifth member of the team, that's going to be my Krookodile, Sebek. Sebek returns with a Scarf Moxie set today, with, you know, 4 HP, max attack, why is it naughty? That's wrong. I don't know why it's naughty, it should be adamant. I was never going to be running Sludge Bomb on it. No point. Yeah, sorry. Max attack, adamant, max speed with the Scarf, Moxie, Earthquake, Knockoff, Stone Edge, and Stealth Rock. This is probably going to be my dedicated lead. I can set up Stealth Rocks on pretty much anything, other than maybe the Galvantula. If he leaves the Galvantula, if he brings it, I'm probably going to be clicking Stone Edge. But yeah, Scarf Rocks is an option. I can bluff, hopefully, that I'm not Scarfed, although he'll see I'm not Intimidated as soon as I switch in. Earthquake, Knockoff, absolutely classically standard stuff on Krookodile. Stone Edge, it hits the Mamoswine neutrally, as does everything else that I have. It hits the Staraptor, it hits the Galvantula. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not a lot to say about Krookodile. It's a Scarf Crook with rocks, it does what it does. If I can, you know, get rid of, let's see, if I can get rid of the Staraptor, we could be in a pretty good position with Earthquake. Especially, you know, if I can pick something off early before he can get, like, the Mega Venusaur and I can get myself a Moxie boost. Krookodile could be very useful here. Obviously, I am outsped by Scarfed Staraptor anyway. This is why I've gone Adamant, not Jolly. No point if he's got Scarfed Staraptor. I might as well go Adamant and just get as much power against everything else as I possibly can. So, yeah, that is Krookodile. Scarf Crook does what it does. Now, final member of the team. Shall we have some more power on the team? I think so. Let's go with Blaziken. Blaziken, Choice Banded, hurts. We've got a standard spread, max attack, max speed, Jolly, Choice Banded, Flare Blitz, High Jump Kick, Brave Bird, and the almighty Lordly Quick Attack. Now, as you know, I like to optimise my speed as much as possible. We have gone Jolly Max because at least that way I can force the speed tie with the Mamoswine, if it comes down to that. Other than that, you know, Choice Banded Blaziken hurts a lot. Everything. there are very few switch-ins to this. I've already had a practice battle with this team where in came a very physically defensive Vaporeon and Choice Banded Flare Blitz did 53%. So, you know, there's that. Flare Blitz also doesn't particularly care about thick fat. Less on the Mamoswine than it does on the Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur will take a Flare Blitz. It won't take a Brave Bird very handily though. So that's kind of why we got that. I really only need Flare Blitz and High Jump Kick. They decimate pretty much everything that that Liam can put in front of me. So Brave Bird I tacked on there in case I want to do more damage to the Mega Venu. And then we've got Quick Attack, just in case I need to pick things off at the end. If I've weakened enough things, Quick Attack Choice Banded is going to be doing some pretty nice damage from Blaziken. Blaziken is my MVP so far, and I really still wanted to do more work, so hopefully a Banded set can really put the pressure onto Liam in this game. So, that is going to be my team to take on West Shan United. Now, I think that this is a pretty good team. However, it cannot be denied that Liam has threats of his own. So, major threats on his side. There are very many. They are incredibly varied. I'm going to pick out two that are, for me, the biggest threats. Those are going to be Mew and Staraptor. Now, I'll discuss the, if you pardon the pun, elephant in the room with my choices there. Why am I not picking out Mamoswine? Well, to be put very simply, I have a Wheezing and I have a Mega-Scizor, who just deal with Mamoswine. They just do. Yeah, Mamoswine I have enough to deal with. The other two, very threatening for very different reasons. Mew, we all know what Mew does, ironically enough, because when you can bring it in, you don't know what it's going to do. Mew is threatening in the sense of its versatility. It's a very overused word when people talk about league play versatility, but Mew is the consummate one. It can learn every move in the game, we know this. So, you know, you don't know what it's going to do, you got to scout it out, and that's what makes it so dangerous. Staraptor is dangerous for a very different reason, and that's just because it hurts a lot. Reckless, Brave Bird, and Double Edge Stab coming off base whatever million attack it has is so scary. I don't actually have switch-ins to this. Like, on a good day, Sizzle might take 2. Wheezing isn't taking 2. Everything else on my team I think gets OHKO'd. Maybe Latias will take a hit, just. Nothing else is. You know, everything else is so many different kinds of dead. Everything else in my squad is so many different kinds of dead. So, yeah, those two are the biggest threats on his team, Mew and Staraptor, and to that end, those are the first two I think that will be on his team sheet. Mew and Staraptor, those two I'm absolutely 100% convinced he is definitely bringing, for the reasons outlined. Now, looking at the rest of his team, Mega Venusaur, yeah, I can see him bringing Mega Venusaur. It puts a nice amount of work in against a lot of what I've got. I'm going to sort of scroll across if I can and see if I can get our teams next to each other on the spreadsheet. Yeah, Mega Venusaur, yeah, nice for like the Sylveon. It'll probably take a Psyshock, it might take 2 depending on my spread of what he thinks I might bring. It can deal with Crook, it can deal with Jellicent, it can take fire hits from Blaziken, you know. The only thing it really fears is Tornadus-I, and I imagine he will have sort of contingency to deal with that. Mamoswine, yeah, why not? This is crunch time for both of us, he needs to be bringing his best. Mamoswine deals with the likes of Tornadus if he's going to bring an Adamant Life Orb set. Ice Shard will OHKO, or at the very least it's a very favourable roll, onto any kind of non-bulky Tornadus variant. It's also nice to be able to do with my Latias. Unless I'm massively invested, it's unlikely that I can OHKO, especially if he has some kind of HP investment on there. So yeah, Mamoswine I'm certain he will be bringing. So that's the top 4 in his squad. Vaporeon, another one, yeah. He's going to need some dedicated bulk. Vaporeon is that. It will deal with pretty much any given form of Mega-Scizor, and for the most part it'll take hits from Blaziken. Now he's not to know that I'm bringing Banded, but for the most part it'll take it on. And of course, it's one of those mons that really likes to run Protect, so I'm going to be sort of scared of locking into High Jump Kick with my Blaziken against his Vaporeon. Vaporeon of course has ice coverage to hit plenty of my squad, and it will deal with the likes of Krookodile and can potentially 1v1 a Jellicent basically because it has Heal Bell. So yeah, I can see Vaporeon coming. Sork, I'm not sure he needs. If he's bringing Mamo and Staraptor, I wouldn't be bringing Sork. Especially not to this matchup. I have a few things that can stop it. Galvantula, interesting. Well, do I think he will bring it? Yes. Do I think he will bring Sticky Web? No. And I'll tell you for why. I have plenty of defoggers who don't care about Sticky Web. Latias has Levitate, Mega-Scizor is Dirt Slow, Noctowl is a Flying type. Armaldo is Dirt Slow as well. You know, they don't care about Sticky Web, but Galvantula can put the hurt on plenty of my mons. Especially my defoggers. So yeah, I think he'll be bringing just a fully all-out offensive Galvantula, if anything. It can really do some nice work to my team. I could see him bringing Life Orb, that's for sure. He outspeeds a lot of what I have naturally, and for him to be able to do that, switch up moves, get off big hits, yeah, I think that'll be the final member of his team. You know, Spiritomb Mawile, I don't know if he's going to bring Spiritomb Mawile. He hasn't had Spiritomb for that long. So yeah, I don't think he'll be bringing that. Mawile, just not today, you know. I have a lot that can threaten it, mostly in the form of my two last mons on my team, that being the Krookodile and the Blaziken. But also, you know, things like Jellicent can probably 1v1 it. He doesn't want to be taking on Wheezing with it. So I don't think he'll be bringing Mawile. I think that those 6 that I mentioned are the ones he'll be bringing: Mew, Mega Venu, Mamoswine, Staraptor, Vaporeon, and the Galvantula. Those are the ones I think he will be bringing. So, in order to see if I'm right with that, you'll have to wait a little bit to see the battle. That should be coming up in the next couple of days, hopefully, if I don't get too far behind once again. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap things up from me. So thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you have enjoyed. Make sure to head down to the description where you will find links, of course, as ever, to the PPL, Twitter and YouTube for all things PPL, for all the news on transfers, managerial stuff, everything you need to know will be down in the description there in those links, of course, to see how things are going in our Parallel Division 2, which is ongoing, where Mono is absolutely killing it. He's very close to breaking my my streak from last season, which I kind of hope he doesn't, but at the same time you want to see people do well, don't you? But yeah, I digress. Those links will be down there. Of course, links to Liam, Unlawful Exile, they will be down there. Do make sure you go and check him out. If like I've said this about a few people, if for some reason you don't know who Unlawful Exile is, what are you doing watching a Pokemon video from me? Go, look at Liam, sound a bit creepy. Check out his channel, check out his Twitter, check out his mixtape. All of these things. He is an inspiration and a wonderful person, so do look at those links. And of course, speaking of wonderful people, links will also be there to Titos, as ever. His links will always be there every week because he made the thumbnail templates, which are awesome, so check him out as well. But, as I say, I've rambled on for far too long. We're hitting 23.5 minutes, so I'm going to get out of here. So, my final thank you to you all for watching, and I guess with that, I will see you next time. Laters.